Okay, guys, so I'm continuing with this series. If you're not good with SIA, if you're not good with religious trauma, if you're not good with abuse, probably not for you. So I'm doing everything I can to not just get a degree. I'm trying everything in my power to survive and succeed. Because I'd always been promised that if I did well in school, all of this other crap, that we would move out of Texas, which I loathed. I still to this day hate it. And if I did everything I was supposed to do, I would be able to get away from my crazy abusive mother and everything else. So I'm working towards this infinite goal of being worthy enough, one, to get married, two, of being loved, of being given any type of achieving these goals, of becoming what they want, so I'll be lovable. And then it hits. My biological mother and her new family move into a new house much closer to us. I really didn't realize it was so I could help babysit. Because now stepdaddy didn't want to just be a teacher, he wanted to go into the medicines. So, of course, my mother put him through that. But it was a double-edged sword because I was taking care of my little brother. I would have to get up at like 5:30, 6 o'clock in the morning to get there by 6:45, 7, so she could go to work. And those are some of the happiest years of my life. To wake up this little boy who wouldn't call me by my name, he would say, "My Wolfie." Not Wolfie, my Wolfie. And to be loved and to be so adored. We did a lot of art projects. We did a lot of outside play. It was so I could be a child. I could be a kid. But there was a problem. They had internet. And I didn't know that my stepfather had an addiction. So it didn't matter what time of day, it didn't matter what day, it didn't matter if I woke that day or not. It was, we know you're watching porn on our laptops. We know you're showing porn to this child. I didn't even start looking at porn until college, and even to this day, I just do it for the goofs. Once you see a fatty fall from a sex swing and break their bend, and the camera go, oh, you know, it just, you can't take it seriously anymore. But, so every day I was going home again. They come home, it's, okay, thanks for everything you've done. Get out, the family's coming home. So I'd go home, and by the time I got home, a phone call had been made. They found my browsing history, and I was looking at the filth and grime and disgusting sexual things. And I was obviously showing it to this child. I had no idea what they were talking about, because I knew I was being watched. And I did do a lot of typing and stuff. If little guy went down for a nap, I would type a lot, because again, to this day, still I want to be a writer, yada yada. And there was, I'd get home, and there would be spankings. Again, I'm 13 and up. And it's, oh, you have no idea how bad your life's gonna get, no TV, none of this, none of that. And I was like, but I didn't do any of this. And no one would believe me. Because again, I was obviously gay in my heart, so I was a whore. And so I had already committed these crimes mentally, so I might as well have done them. And then one day I take care of my little brother, and he kisses me. And I get in the car with my grandmother, and my grandmother says, we have to have a talk now. I said, okay, what's it about? What did I do this time? Did I watch an episode of Family Guy and damn the family? She was like, no. Julie told me. And I just said her name. You know what, fucker? Your mother just told me that they found some lesbian porn on the computer, and it is the most degenerate thing she's ever seen. And she's going to tell your dad, my biological grandfather. And I said, I don't even know how you'd get to that stuff, first of all. Secondly, I was working. We have projects we do all throughout the day. We would paint birdhouses, we would go outside. We had a set here, and we have itinerary every day that I made because I wanted him to be bright. I wanted him to have a busy mind. And I said, there's no way I was into this. And my grandmother said, well, you need to tell your grandfather before your mom does. Because if he finds out there's some other, venue, you're gonna get it, and it won't be good. So I am in knots because my grandfather and I don't speak. Unless he's giving me an order, we don't speak. I'm gonna kill these people upstairs. And I'm in knots. I'm like, oh my god, every time the phone rings, I'm like, oh god, she's home, just tell him, oh my god, what she called him at work, all of this. And that night we had beef stew for dinner. Beef vegetable soup. Tons of onions, I can't eat it. But in my house, if you don't eat fast enough, you got hit. Then you didn't ask for something different. And it was my grandmother at one end, then my grandfather, then me. And I'm up against the wall near the telephone. And it's a very small space. And I'm trying so hard, because my grandmother's like, you need to tell him now. He just walked in the door. If I goes to him straight when he walks in the door, I'm gonna get it. So I'm trying to not vomit. Because at this point, I'm having 15 periods a year. I'm so nervous and I'm so on edge, I'm bleeding all the time. And she put the soup in the bowl. And immediately he grabs a handful of cornbread and puts it in there and covers it in ketchup, and he's blah, 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 blah. He never eats with the closed mouth. And I have my spoon. And I'm shaking so bad I can't eat. And I'm going, how do you sort this? And my grandfather didn't wait. He said, I've had enough of this, and he grabs me by my hair and throws me across the kitchen. I go into a wall. We have to go around the kitchen, around the hallway. He is smashing my face into the wall as we go into my bedroom. He rips off his belt and he beats me worse than I've ever been beaten in my life. I mean, he beat me. The belt hit my head. It was hitting every part of me. And then he grabbed me by my hair and pulled me up to him and said, now you're gonna go and you're gonna apologize to my wife for ruining her meal, and then you're gonna eat and you're gonna eat every damn bite. Now get away from me and don't you talk to me. That was the worst beating I ever got. I was either 13 or 14, I can't remember which. But I have, to this day, if I see a vegetable soup, I have a panic attack. And I hadn't even told him. He wasn't angry. He hadn't heard about the porn. He hadn't heard anything. He was angry because I didn't eat fast enough. And my grandmother said nothing. She let him do it. She didn't intervene. She didn't say, Doug, she's panicking. She's got something to tell you. Nothing. And I had to go up to her and I had to apologize for ruining her meal. And I had to sit down. My hair is ripped out of my head. I'm covered in welt. And I have to eat that fucking soup sitting next to him. And it's filled with onions, so I'm burping. And I'm trying not to burp, because if you burp, you get beat again. Then I remember I'm sitting there shaking. Because I figured this is over soup. He'll kill me for this bullshit porn thing. And I've never forgiven my grandmother because she knew what was wrong. She didn't say a word. She just sit there, stone-faced. And that's why, children, I don't do well with food to this day.